Happy New Year, everyone. It's 2026, another amazing year upcoming in Bulgaria. More traveling, more adventures, more working on the ladder.
That's it. You'll see a lot of the same things on the channel. But we thought we'd start off with something different. Hopefully, we can sort of like maintain this idea through the year, but we thought Hannah and I would come on and talk about some of the things that are super important to us. And one of those really big things is music.
Music.
And moving to Bulgaria has been wonderful because it's enabled us to discover, a whole nation's worth of amazing bands.
A
Because
whole new world.
yeah, absolutely. Music was something that we bonded over initially when we met many, many years ago.
Our first date was at a local festival.
Yeah, it was indeed. I play in a band here in Bulgaria, and it's been awesome, our time in this country, discovering lots of bands from time gone by, as well as a lot of new bands that are out there playing in Bulgaria. So we thought it would be great to maybe make some little videos that focus on some of these bands that we've discovered.
Of course.
And obviously, if you're from Bulgaria, it's bands that you probably know already. So it'd be great if we maybe talk a bit about some of these bands, what we like. And also, if you're in the comments, chime in, share your experiences if you know of these bands, or if you have favorite songs, or if ever you've seen them live. And also maybe suggest other bands that we can look at. We do have quite a big list already that...
We have been exposed to a lot of Bulgarian music because we listen to the radio in the car.
Sure, Z-Rock. Shout out to Z-Rock.
Yeah.
So we like rock music, we like blues music, classic rock, all that sort of stuff. So Z-Rock is a good alternative station, isn't it? So we hear a bit of everything, and we have sort of pricked up our ears a lot and been exposed to some pretty cool Bulgarian bands.
Yes, because you started a playlist actually. Every time you hear one,
yeah.
The good thing obviously with modern technology is you can put your phone next to the speaker and find out what it is and who it is. Because especially when you don't know the language as well, because when it's English, you're like, oh, I like this song, and then you can pick out a lyric and you can type it into Google, can't you?
Yeah,
and say,
for sure.
it was like something about a blue sky, I don't know. So obviously we put our phone next to the speaker to find out, and then you put it straight onto a playlist.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure everybody does the same thing where you forget a song.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to focus only on one band on each of these videos. Yeah. And it was hard to sort of pick out a band to start with.
Yeah, because you had a big list.
Yeah, but you suggested this band specifically, even though this band we're going to talk about today does cross over with a bunch of other bands here in Bulgaria. The reason you suggested starting with this band is they have been around for a really long time, and my band has actually played a show with this band.
So there's a personal connection.
Yeah, for sure. So it was a really good way to start with this band. And the band is Tangra. And this band has been going for a surprising length of time.
Yeah, they late 70s.
Yeah, and they started obviously in a time where there was a very different political situation in Bulgaria. Not something that obviously I lived under, but they started in a very different time when there was maybe a lot more restriction on music.
Of course, it's not something that you think about when you listen into Western music, and then when you think about like the history of this part of the world, you're like, oh yeah, that must have been so much, like so different to think, oh, I'm gonna start a band. There's probably a lot more in the back of your mind that you have to think about.
Yeah, well, that's it. Just thinking that being in a band or making music is creative.
Yes.
And you want to sort of maybe not have your creativity restrained.
No.
But I guess at that time in the late 70s, it might have been quite hard because you potentially had to be very careful about maybe what the content of your songs was about, or the words that were used, or what the subject matter was. But Tangra obviously was a very, very popular band here in Bulgaria.
They have been popular since their first album, and still are going and still are popular.
Sure, and they had crossovers with, started by someone from Cite,
which
the
is
Crickets.
the Crickets.
Another band that we're definitely going to speak about.
Yes.
And also Diana Express was another band that they seem to have a lot of crossover with members and people involved in Tangra. But they had some, the first album especially, by all accounts, had songs that, I've read about. These songs are almost like sort of national anthems. They were so important.
Yes, there are a few on it that are like still like if you put it on now, people would probably start singing and know the words. Like they're important songs for Bulgaria.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And those songs come from Tangra, or Tangra One, I guess. Tangra, the first album.
Yeah,
Our Town.
Our Town, Nashiat Grad. I can't remember exactly, but it's something like that. And the title track is also called Our Town. I'm not going to try and say it again.
And which was the song? There was one song that we were listening to that was really kind of up our street, kind of like really prog rock.
A prog rock. It was Priateli was one of the first ones that really pricked up my ears, but it's further on in the album that I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely like our vibe, because they are definitely inspired by Western rock bands.
Sure. Yeah.
And the sound, again, this is something that I think about, like with like we were saying about it being a different political system, of how did that come across of it sounding like similar bands
Yes.
at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And the next one, I think, was Sabota Saturday.
Okay.
That was the next song.
Yeah.
They're the ones that I was like, oh, I need to look at this and see what this is called so I remember, so I can listen to it again. Those two songs were really my favourite.
Yeah.
Because they were heavier.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we like rock music and things. And there was definitely some songs that I think were quite, they were quite light sort of pop songs.
Easy listening, yeah. I think, is how I would describe the first half of the album, especially. I can't remember what it's the third track on the album, and it's very rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself when I was listening to it, this is why your band was perfect to go with it, because you play some rock and roll.
Yeah, and I think you said, obviously, that first album, the thing that you noticed most was it just covered all the bases.
There's some genre shifts. It's all obviously rock, but it has like this more of like ballads.
Yeah, it had some sort of strummy pop, and then it has the heavier sort of almost prog songs. So certainly within that one album, there was a lot of musical styles explored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And I definitely felt like they were quite sort of Western in feel.
So inspired by it. And that's why, because I was listening to it while I was chopping kindling in the pan. And my mind was just wandering off, because I was just thinking about, oh, this sounds like this, or this sounds like this. I'm terrible with names of bands and stuff, because we listen to a lot of music and listen to a lot of stuff that is more up your street. And so I can't really pick the names of bands, but it's like, oh, this sounds like this song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking, how would that go across? Like, was there just complete, like, maybe the government was just like, oh, it doesn't matter, as long as it's created by Bulgarian people, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, again, I think this is why we're almost asking the question, like, for people to comment, is Tangra a band, firstly, that you like, that you're aware of? Are you old enough to have maybe seen this band back in the 70s or in the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think of the band? Because, as I say, they were, to my ears, playing music that was very sort of similar to a lot of Western bands. Mm-hmm. Was that maybe the reason that you really liked them?
Yeah, like sure. It scratched an itch, like it filled in that space.
Yeah.
In the market for people.
They definitely, from reading about the band, went through some very distinctive periods. That first album period, there was a lot of membership change, and then the sort of second period of Tangra seemed to be almost like new wave.
Yeah.
They're described almost as changing musical style and becoming new wave.
I noticed that
the Tangra 2, I think, was that.
That it got a bit more like electro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was, and it was the 80s, I suppose.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's the. It's like following the fashions, following the current like.
Yeah, yeah. And then obviously the band went through even bigger shifts, and uh, I guess took a long hiatus after the political change in Bulgaria and the move away from socialism in the 90s. And then the band seemed to come back, a number of years ago with quite a different lineup, with Bobby now singing. That was the guy who was singing when
Yeah.
we played with them, and Jordan on keyboards. Um, and it's maybe kind of felt like a newer, younger band, and still releasing music. That's the amazing thing. They definitely seem to almost have been re-energized during the sort of COVID period. I think from 2019 onwards, they seem to have released a bunch of new songs actually that charted really well here in Bulgaria. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
Because older bands, they struggle to get that popularity back, don't they?
This is it. And if this is a band that's now been going for, I guess the best part of 45, almost 50 years, and to still be in a position to tour under the name Tangra or Tangra, and to still have a fan base, still play some great shows, still put out music that is engaging with people and making the charts nationally, I think that's an amazing thing.
Do you think it's maybe to do with like loyalty? So you could probably maybe have this because you're from New Zealand, and you remember when you said that when a band is from New Zealand, it's almost like you don't expect to go anywhere because you're from New Zealand.
Yeah,
and
it's a small
obviously,
country.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So when you have like a band from like a smaller country, you feel more like connected or loyal to them because they're yours.
Yeah, I guess so. And I think, certainly that's something we're probably going to explore as we talk about a bunch of the other bands that we have on our list is, do they have such a loyal following because they are a band that's singing it in a native language, firstly?
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, of course.
Because, you're going to have quite a smaller audience in some respects if you are a band that maybe is just singing in your local language.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's what I mean with like the loyalty, because you know that you're not going to break out into the UK or America.
Yeah.
Because you are so specific to, okay, maybe other like, like the surrounding countries have a shared, like
some language similarities.
Serbia, Macedonia, whatever, like, that you could probably listen to artists from your surrounding areas, and like, because I know a lot of like Chalga or like the pop music, you can listen to
Yes, yeah.
You could go to a club like that's playing the pop music in like Greece or Romania or Serbia, and you would hear songs that
maybe are similar.
Yeah. So maybe they would still be like local to this area. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if they ever did like, was it just tour around Bulgaria?
I think early on, from what I read, the band did tour in Europe and actually did well in Europe. But now, I must admit, the noticeable thing, we played a show with the band not last year.
2024, yeah.
Yeah, 2024. We played a show in Varna, and it was a big outdoor show in the Sea Garden in Varna. And we were supporting Tangra. They were the headline act. And so, firstly, we were super excited to be able to support a band that was as big and important as Tangra and that has been around for so long at a show in this country, considering we're a band of English-speaking people who all live in Bulgaria. We've made this our home, but we're not a Bulgarian band. So we were super, super lucky to be asked. And it was a wonderful show, big outdoor stage, really big crowd. But for a band that's been around for so long, the crowd was surprisingly young. So again, this is the thing that it's important, I think, that the band has been around for a long time, but they have an audience that is still growing because there's still young people coming and discovering them, maybe from the new songs that they have.
Yeah, but it's probably also like how I find this is quite popular in the rock crowd of things. Like, obviously, you know that Nyx is listening to the music that we listen
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
And sadly, she won't be able to go see those bands when she's old enough because they're obviously from the 70s and stuff. I was lucky enough to see all my favourite bands that were from the 70s and
yeah.
stuff because, I was kind of born like just almost at the right time to see them. But I feel like families that listen to rock music really pass that down.
Oh, for sure.
So you can
Yeah,
go to an Iron Maiden concert, you can go to Metallica concert, you can go to all these
yeah.
concerts, and there will be young people because it's equally as important to them as it is to their parents because it's like they bonded over it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I feel like rock music to me, like it's not a surprise that there's a young crowd.
No, true. Like you say, parents have handed that love for that band down to their
Yeah,
children.
if we went to like a opera,
Yeah,
that's when I'd be surprised if there's like a younger crowd.
yeah, yeah.
But rock music to me is it's not a
And as I say, if the band is still putting out music that is engaging with an audience, I mean that
oh
audience is
yeah
potentially younger,
yeah
and there are certainly younger members in the band now, and so it's cool that they are still able to continue growing an audience.
are
As I
there
say, almost 50 years down the line.
yeah are there original members left?
Well, I think Jordan, the keyboard player, is probably the oldest member in the band now. And I think my understanding is he came into the band in the early 80s.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's, I guess, probably the oldest member at this stage.
Yeah.
Super cool guy as well, and very nice. And the whole band was really nice. It was lovely to spend a bit of time with them, speak with them, and they were super friendly. And I've played a lot of shows with big artists
Hmm.
in various places in the world, and sometimes people can be a bit standoffish, especially if you're the big name.
Yeah, if you're the
the
if you're
headliner.
the headliner.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
it's
I think you probably just presume as well, like you almost are ready for that. Do you think?
understandable, yeah, because I mean, I guess if you're a sort of a big name band or a big named artist, potentially you've probably got a lot of people want to sort of use your time, and it can get a bit tiring when you're just there to do your job, which is to put on a show. But the Tangra guys were just awesome. They were great. We were there sound checking together, and they were super, super helpful. And actually, a bit of a story about the show. We were playing that show on a Friday night, and I think it might have been maybe September time. So it was still very warm, big outdoor show. And we played that show on the Friday night. And then we stayed in Varna that night. And the next day we drove to Bansko.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
we
I
had a sort
remember
of
this.
7 hour drive across Bulgaria to go to Bansko to play a show on the Saturday night. And unfortunately, the bassist's guitar, his bass guitar, had got left behind when we were loading all the equipment out. Uh, and the guys from Tangra picked it up for us.
Yeah.
And we picked it up from there. Oh, no, actually, we didn't pick it up. We were trying to organize to collect it from them in Sofia on the way home from Bansko. It didn't work out. And I think Bobby might have actually just shipped it, just
Yeah,
put it on
sent it.
Econ,
Yeah, yeah.
and it came back. And weirdly, our bassist at the time did say that when he got it back, it seemed to play even better than before. So he was like, maybe their guitar tech, set his bass up for him. I don't know. It was amazing that, as I say, there's a bunch of guys who could have quite easily just gone, this is not our equipment. Let someone else sort it out. But they kept hold of it and sorted it out and got in touch with us and got it back to us. So, massive thumbs up to the band for that. And it's great to see them still out playing shows. They were playing a show in Velika just at the later part of last year. So they're still out playing smaller clubs as well. And as I say, it's just the longevity of the band, I think, is really important. And there's actually quite a few bands on our list that are bands that have been around for a really long time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
So that's certainly something that we're going to probably touch on, is that there's a lot of young bands on the list. There's a lot of newer bands that I'd like to speak about as well. But there's certainly some that quite easily could have been going 15 or 20 years, which is, I think that's awesome. That's a heck of a career, you know, if you've still got an audience or still growing an audience after that length of time.
Yeah, I like I was saying, I think when it's like US specific to your country, I think it probably would be easy. Oh, I don't know, to be honest. In my head, I say that it would be easy, but maybe not, because you are competing with the rest of the world.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, I think, I don't know, I think it's almost like you've got a captive audience. Like you say,
Hmm.
if people have loyalty to Bulgarian bands, but that's not always the case. People obviously have to like your music.
Yeah, that's it. Can't just like you because you're born in
That's
the
it.
same country.
And people have to come to your shows to make it
Yeah.
worthwhile. So we'll see. But Tangra is definitely one that you know, we had a little bit of a personal connection with. We thought it'd be a great band to start this list off. If you are someone who obviously is not Bulgarian or not aware of Bulgarian bands, firstly, there's so many great bands in this country.
Yes.
The live scene, to my mind, is way better than it is
That's
in the
what
UK.
I was just about to say. I think also these bands have managed to stay around because people go to shows.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one thing you've noticed, and I've noticed when I go to some of these shows. Way easier to get someone to come through that door to come
And pay a
see
ticket.
yeah.
Yeah.
And people are not scared to have fun.
Yeah, oh no, for sure. And to express themselves and to really
People
enjoy it.
absolutely just, you know, it's not like you're my husband, you're playing the band and stuff, so it's just like I enjoy it. But to see people just so excited to see you and you're not even playing
Well,
your
we
own
just play cover songs.
songs.
That's it. Yeah, we're not playing our own music. So
No, and it's just it is like you've just come from playing like your Metallica. It's not that much, but you know what I mean.
no, certainly people here, I think, know when they go out to see a band, people here are definitely not reserved, as in they really are. They're just happy to express themselves and happy to enjoy good music, and it certainly helps. I think it must help the local bands because there seems to always be um, municipalities seem to put on a lot of like bands in the summer. Seems to be a lot of like festivals and outdoor shows that go on in the center of little towns and cities around the country.
Yeah.
That gives these bands that we're going to talk about opportunities to play. And it's great to see these bands out and obviously being paid to play by municipalities here in Bulgaria.
But even for yourself, like you haven't got a name, but they even hire you.
No, absolutely, yeah. As I say, it's great to see municipalities around the country paying to put bands on for certain events. You know, we play, a bunch of different outdoor events around the country. It's awesome to see, as well as we play for a lot of, just small little individual clubs all over.
Yeah.
Support those little clubs, definitely. But if there are some of these bigger bands out playing in a local area near you, get along and do it, because it'd be great to, it's great to see these bands as local as you can get them, and you don't ever want to lose it. You want there to be a reason for the municipality to keep on putting money into putting these shows on.
And those municipality shows will be free as well.
No, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like Polski Trąbacz, they had BTR, is that?
That's right.
They had them a couple of years ago. They had I can't say the Crickets. For recently, I'm sure that's what's on the poster. They had the Crickets.
No, they had, who else did they have?
Signal. It wasn't.
It was Signal. Yeah.
Which is also a very good band. I like Signal.
Yeah, they're on our list to speak about.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's, today we wanted to kick off with Tangra. If you know about the band, as I've said before, if you know about the band, if they're one of your favourites or it's a band that you've seen before, tell us about it. It'd be really nice to know. If it's a band you're unaware of, definitely check them out.
Yeah,
because
you can listen to them anywhere.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there's definitely a bit of something for everyone with the band, because they've been around for so long. Their music has evolved, and they've touched on a lot of different styles during their time.
Yeah, they've evolved, definitely.
Yeah.
And if you are a foreigner living in Bulgaria, listening to Bulgarian music also will help you with your ear.
Yes.
With the language.
Yeah, for sure.
I find as well.
even just reading song titles and working out what they mean, because they're all words potentially that you're just going to use in your daily life. If you think
Yeah,
about
of
song
course.
titles, it's all pretty simple stuff.
Yeah, and this has helped me because I'm no stranger to listening to foreign like bands, like foreign the language, because obviously there are lots of bands over the years from different countries that sing in English,
Yes, yeah,
and I like it when people sing in their own native like language. So definitely, because you get the curiosity when you love them and you want to know, like, oh, what are they singing about, or what does that title actually mean?
yeah, yeah.
So, and then it sticks with you because you had that urge to learn it. You wanted to know. It's not like someone's just teaching you a word like, oh, strawberry means hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Because 2 seconds later you might forget it because it's just you have someone's kind of just given it you instead of your urge to learn.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and listening to those songs, if it's something that you like, you listen to it repeatedly. Yeah,
Of
and it starts
course.
getting a bit
And then you'll
entrenched in your
start
head.
singing it, and then your
Yeah.
tongue will start molding to the way that Bulgarians like speak
Yes,
because obviously
exactly.
you're
There's
singing
some
it.
different sounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
and definitely, if Tangra is a band that you're unaware of and you see that they're going to be playing somewhere near you, go out and see the show. You definitely will not, even if the music kind of isn't your cup of tea, you'll really like the show. It's a really engaging show. They're such a professional band. The sound is awesome. And as I say, song wise, they have a bit of something for everyone. So
Yeah.
definitely go out and catch the band.
Live music is for everyone. I like you can go to a live show and it's not maybe like when we saw Desi Dobreva.
Yeah, that was
Like
an amazing show.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
again like a Bulgarian like folk, would you say? She
Yeah,
sings folk
absolutely.
music, like a
Yeah.
bit of pop folky. Like that isn't something that we're gonna pop onto the radio like to play.
But as
But
a
it was
show,
it was
it was
amazing.
mind blowing. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So, yeah, definitely go out and see a live show. There's definitely a lot going on in Bulgaria. If just go online and just search out if you're into say rock music or blues or anything like that, guaranteed there's going to be a small venue somewhere near where you live that will have regular shows, because
Of
we
course.
play a lot of these places around
Yeah,
the
that's
country,
it. You
and
might
they are
see his
they
name.
are they are everywhere. So definitely go and catch Tangra or listen to the band, and then well, join us next week where we'll be kind of starting to work our way down the list, and we'll focus on another band next week.
And if you have, just name off your favorite Bulgarian band if Tangra isn't one, because it might be on the list, but it might not be, and you might have suggested my new favorite one.
Oh no, exactly. Yeah,
So
we're
go for
always
it.
out there with open ears. So
Yeah.
if you think it's something that you like, tell us about it. But do you want to sort of maybe say who you want to talk about next week?
I think I would talk about
Stay.
It's the
The Crickets, yeah.
yeah.
Because definitely there's some absolutely banging songs from the 70s from that
They're
band. So,
really good, and they're kind of connected. They're connected because they share a member.
that's it. So there we go. Next week, the Crickets. That's who we're going to talk about. So we'll see you then.
Ciao.